I've connected our pylons. You have access to my infrastructure now. Oh. Does that mean you're giving us some of your resources? Mikasa es su casa, buddy. Help yourself to whatever you need. Huh. That's really generous of you. Thanks. I have to say, I didn't think you'd be up for it. After everything I said. Apology accepted. Because that's what you meant, right? That you're sorry? If it means so much to you, okay. I'm sorry. I forgive you. That makes us even, right? No. Not quite. Seriously? Yeah, there's something I owe you. Oh? What is it? Well, I thought, since you were so curious about Mom, what we talked about in her last days, after our conversation, I can't stop thinking about one thing. Her last words. Do you wanna know what she said? It's a very generous gift, but I can't accept it. I wasn't there with her when she was dying. You were. Those words were meant for you. And you alone. Wait a minute. What the hell happened to Baby An, who always wants to have everything? Did you finally alter yourself into some mature version of you? In a way, you could say that. I just realized that things are as they should be. That's all. Well, in that case, nothing more to say. This is it. Goodbye, Jan. Are you sure you want to stay here? What's there to go back to? Maxwell's lab? Besides, with those resources from you, that safe house is starting to look pretty neat. No. We're staying. It's goodbye. Goodbye then. Have a safe one, and don't spend all your rubidium in duty-free. Brother. Thanks. Brother. Looks like I'm done. Should I go there next? Time to summon the rescue team. But they can't find out about my altars. What the hell should I do? I wish the technician were here. They'd probably have something to say. Maybe he'd say, fuck the ship. Let's all stay on this planet together. We're not doing so bad, are we? Why do we even want to go back to that old life form? Or is that what I'd want him to say? It's a simple task. Think. You're supposed to be the one who can do it. The scientist has an opinion on that. Quantum computer chose you to focus on mission objectives, not play games with the corporation. Hey, wait a minute. Mission objectives. We're supposed to bring back Rapidium. Huh. That might actually be it. That's what the rescue team will care about most. If there's anything they're not taking off without, it's their precious cargo. Yeah. That's it. I'll have to find a way to use Rapidium to smuggle the altars back to Earth. The details are gonna need refining, but I'm sure the scientists can help me with that. For now, brainstorm over. Let's light up this beacon. Supposed to happen. Please, can't anything be normal on this goddamn planet? So, I have some bad news and some even worse news. Does that mean you finally talked to someone on Earth about us? Well, sort of, yes. It looks like they want me to keep you a secret from the rescue team. Smuggle you on board. Oh. And for what reason, if I may ask? Maxwell thinks they might kill you. You're just too much of a liability to the corporation. I'm sorry. But, I'm not sure we need to worry about that just yet, because that was the less bad news. The worst news is the rescue ship might end up not picking us up at all. What?
I set up the beacon, but just as the light was going up in the air, suddenly something jammed it. As if there was, I don't know, an invisible barrier up in the sky. Are you sure you activated the beacon correctly? Yes, I'm sure. Trust me. And the light got blocked by an invisible barrier. That's very strange. Well, we need to do something about it. Otherwise, all our efforts will have been in vain, and we'll end up fried down here. It's not just about the beacon. If light can't get out, then a ship won't get in either. Yes. Right. Let's stay cool. Give me a moment to study this thing. I was hoping you'd say that. I suppose in that case, the conversation about smuggling us on board should be postponed. I suggest we don't mention it to anyone just yet, so as not to cause unwanted agitation. Right. One problem at a time, huh? Yes. Let me research whatever this barrier is. First, you could use the time to look around the area, secure resources. We'll probably need them if we're to overcome yet another obstacle. Lucas, good to hear you.
Jan, you're going home. Isn't that exciting? How are the preparations going?
How should I put it? Your enthusiasm may be a little premature.
Oh? What's the problem this time?
Same old, same old. More obstacles. A barrier in the sky, this time. I'm gonna have to destroy it if I want the rescue ship to land.
Damn. You're so close.
Yeah, but see, I've been thinking. Do I want it to land?
What? What's that supposed to mean? Of course you do.
Here's the thing. While my alters are worried they might not get back to Earth, I'm worried about what's gonna happen to them after they get back. Because I've learned some troubling things about Maxwell, Lucas. Are you aware that he wants to hijack the Rapidium for himself?
Maxwell has other allies now, a much more open-minded organization than Ally Corp. It's run by people who actually care about progress.
Or maybe people who don't care about the law.
What? What do you mean?
Lena. She recorded a message for me and she said she dug out some dirt about his patients losing their minds. Being unethically exploited.
Exploited?
If you could look me in the eye right now, would you swear that not a single person was mistreated in those experiments? Would you swear on your life, Lucas?
Well, there were some rumors at one point that a patient, that he was, well, a little unstable and he might have, but at his family's request, we buried his data. That's what Maxwell said.
So, it's true. Patient 313 really did exist.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. Look, we were working with mentally disturbed people. Accidents happen, but Maxwell was just trying to help them.
Lucas, this is about my alters' lives.
It's a little late for doubts now, Jan. You have no choice but to trust Maxwell. If the corporation finds out about your alters, they'll get rid of them. There's no other option.
What if there was another option? You're a QC navigator, Lucas. Maxwell wants you to take control of the ship once it takes off. What if, assuming for a moment that I managed to get that rescue ship to land safely, what if I just asked you to dispatch us somewhere else? Somewhere they wouldn't find us.
What are you talking about, Jan? Hijacking a ship full of Rapidium? Are you crazy?
It's what you do anyway, isn't it? The question is, will you do it for Maxwell, or will you think for yourself?
I don't know, Jan. It's all very confusing. My first reaction is to say no. But I'm thinking of how much you've achieved by collecting all that Rapidium and all those conversations we had. You've grown to be some kind of, well, inspiration to me.
A friend.
Yeah, I don't use that word often, but yeah. I need to think this over, okay? I'm not sure about what part I want to play in all this. I guess I'm not used to playing a significant part in anything.
Maxwell deserves a lesson in humility. He's taken you for granted for too long. You can show him how wrong he's been.
I'll think it over. I'll 7 out for now.
Lucas, what is it?
Hey, hon. I just learned about something. I needed to share it with you because I don't think anyone else would understand.
What happened?
It's all over the news on Earth. A horrible accident on an oil rig.
What? You mean?
Yeah. The same one the guy you asked about was working on.
Ben, is he?
I'm sorry, Jan. He's among the casualties.
Well, that sucks. Because the refiners just put everything on the line for the sake of reuniting with him. I'm gonna need to find the right words to tell him about it. I best not do it before we take off. I can't risk unhinging him right now.
Yeah, well, I just wanted you to know. Because it really blew my mind.
Thanks, Lucas. Nothing we could have done.
Is there really? Man, that question's gonna haunt me forever.
It shouldn't. Because it looks like some things are just meant to happen no matter what choices you make. That accident seems to be one of them.
Huh. Maybe you're right. I guess we'll never know for sure. Anyway, I'm not wasting any more of your time. You've got work to do.
Yeah. Talk soon, L7. Take care, man.
deciding that we're gonna clean slate.
you look at that? I found my Boy Scout badge. Go fierce ocelots.
I'm done here. Should I do this now? See how much you can achieve with just a little bit of planning? Did you manage to find out more about the barrier? I'm afraid I don't have good news. For a moment, I was hoping we could redirect the ship to another area, but it seems that won't be possible. What we've called the barrier is, in fact, a strong force-filled layer of interlapping distortions, a sort of prism entanglement. So it's yet another anomaly. Okay, we have ways to deal with them, right? Do you know where it stems from? You see, that's the problem. It seems to be everywhere. Covering the entire surface like a dome, or a layer of the atmosphere. Wait, what? No, but are you trying to tell me it was here when I landed? It must have been here the whole time. Looming above us, invisible to the human eye. Fascinating. So was it the cause of your ship's malfunction? It could have been, yes. Damn, that's incredible. It almost sounds like the planet wanted all this to happen. Me landing here. All on my own. Oh, it makes my head spin. Planets are inanimate objects, Jan. They don't want things. You may have been saved by the QC prediction system, but thinking of all this as some kind of intricate plan would be arrogant even for my standards. I believe the nature of this gigantic prism distortion needs to be studied more. But how? We can't fly. Right. But we've made fragmentary observations on the surface, and I think we can still learn more. I've located 3 areas with particularly strong interference characteristics that match the electromagnetic fluctuations typical for this kind of distortion. They should be marked on your map. I want you to take a closer look at them and bring me more data. Hi, Lucas.
Jan, how's it going?
I built another ark. I'm planning to bring quite a lot of rupidium with me.
Man, that's just amazing. This is really gonna change the world. I mean, look, I don't want you to think I'm naive, Jan. I know most of the rupidium will be gobbled up by the Big Six, but sometimes a little is enough to give people hope. I remember when Mother left us. Did I tell you she left when we were kids?
I don't think you did. No.
Yeah, well, I was 10. You know what my strongest memory is of that day? Grandma baking a cake for the lot of us. And telling us that we'd be all right.
Strong woman.
It was just a cake. But that day gave me hope. And that hope kept me alive. Your excess rupidium is like that cake, Jan.
Wow. I'd really like to meet that grandmother of yours one day.
Who knows? Maybe you will. You know, I owe you something. Last time when I told you about Maxwell, I left out one thing.
Okay.
That accident his friend died in, it was Maxwell's fault. He's the one who'd been drunk driving.
What the hell? How come they didn't lock him up?
Yeah, there were some mitigating factors. You see, they'd been spending the weekend in a mountain lodge. Remote place, having some drinks in the evening, when suddenly, his friend had a stroke. Maxwell called for the ambulance, but they told him it could take a while. And there was a big risk that it would be too late. But his own car was right there, on the driveway. I mean, what would you have done?
Someone with a stroke can't wait. Every minute counts. I'd risk it and go.
And you'd have to live with the consequences for the rest of your life. Like Maxwell. There was another car involved in the accident. The driver of that car, a young woman, she got disabled for life. Never walked again. And Maxwell's friend didn't make it.
Damn.
Yeah. That night, Maxwell made a decision that never stopped haunting him.
What if he had waited for the ambulance? Would his friend still be alive? That woman would certainly be all right.
Or maybe it was the right decision to drive, but he should have gone slower. He became obsessed with these questions. As a scientist, he wanted answers, and he sacrificed everything. His family, his academic reputation, and peace of mind to look for a way to find them. Not just for himself, but for science and the progress of humanity.
We all have regrets. They're a part of life.
Pain is a part of life too. Were people wrong to invent painkillers? Whatever you think of it, here you have it. The genesis of Project Gila.
Damn. Quite a story.
Yeah. It's been a while since I talked to someone like this. It's lonely up on this station.
I bet it does. And I can promise you I'll do my best to get more rubidium.
Wow. That would be awesome, Jan. I have to say, I'm really glad it's you, down there. Not everyone would be so ambitious.
Right. You know what?
Yeah?
Maybe try less of the sweet talk. You really suck at it.
Yeah, I know. In that case, I guess, good luck, Jan. L7 out.
I'm done here. Should I do this now?
See how much you can achieve? structure growing upward. Upward, you say? Yes. I think I know how we could use that information. Looks like some kind of root system. I'm getting some quite extraordinary readings from there.
My stuff landed here. definitely something unusual here. Like a giant horizontal branch reaching somewhere. Good. Let me analyze the data properly. I think I'm starting to see something here. I know what you mean. They seem connected. Come back to the base and we'll talk more. Jan, there's an issue we need to discuss. Let's meet.
So, what do you make of the data we collected? Interesting. Very interesting. The three fragments of the interval apparently form a single structure. Right, yeah, it almost looked like it could be part of a gigantic tree of some sort. A huge vertical framework on a proximity plane. It could be our way up. A way up? How do you mean, for what? Reaching the barrier and destroying it. But I don't understand. It's not even there, physically. And that is exactly the issue we will have to solve. What would you say if I told you we should look for a way to materialize that structure? A way to materialize the interval? Knowing you, I'm pretty sure you already have one. Of course I don't. It's not that simple, Jan. But I do have an initial plan. Based on all the data we've collected so far, I think I came up with a way to disintegrate this barrier. Fragmentize the prism entanglement. But it can't be done from down here. You're going to have to reach for the sky, and that structure seems to be the best way to get there. But is that even possible? To make it physically accessible? What if I told you Professor Frankov believed it was possible? Really? Tell me more. You see, Frankov devised a theoretical experiment in which he proved that if an electromagnetic field was powerful enough, it could pull a proximity plane closer to us. The force field would have to be extremely strong and the object no larger than a grain of sand. But according to his calculations, it could physically materialize. Well, we're gonna need more than a grain of sand. Don't forget, we have something that Frankov didn't. Rubidium. Oh. That's... bold. Bold. Dangerous. And necessary. So you really think you can do it? I know it sounds impossible, but if we pull this off, there's so much more to gain than just our survival. A scientific breakthrough. And we can play a leading role in it. What do you want me to do? The fragmenting device I told you about, I've drawn up a raw design for you to start building it. And I'll set to work on reconstructing Frankov's theory and finding a way to materialize that structure for us. It is possible. I simply know it.